Hi, and today I'm going to show you how to fit a new chronograph pusher. The type I'm going to use is a screw-in type, and here's the old one. And here's the new one. I'm going to replace both the pushers because it's difficult to get a matching one to match the old one, so it's easier to just replace both of them. Chronograph pusher is made up of several parts. Naturally, there's a spring. This is the screw, and that's just a spacer. The actual tube itself, and the button, which you see on the outside of the case. Now, to fit a screw-in type of pusher, you'll notice that there's some serrated edge around the tube, and the best way to fit them is with the special tool. You can do it with a pair of pliers, but you run the risk of damaging the serrated edge, and so using the special tool is less risky. They're not that expensive either if you do plenty of them, but if you're just doing a one-off, then a pair of pliers, as long as you're very careful, will do the trick. So first of all, you need to place the washer over the thread of the tube. Then locate the tube into the tool. And screw the tube into the case, being very careful not to cross thread. The thread on these tubes are very fine, and so make sure you get a good start when screwing it in. Once you feel it nip, just give it a quick inspection, make sure everything's okay, and then give it that little extra tighten. Don't over tighten it, because it can actually break off, and then you'll have to buy another one. But more importantly, the tube may get stuck in the case, in which case it's a pain to actually get it out. Now the tube is in the case. We can start reassembling the pusher, and we start with the spring and place the pusher cap over the spring. Hold it in place with a finger, and push the screw through the hole opposite. Now remember, it's going through a couple of O-rings in there, so you might need to give it a bit of a push. It's a good idea to lubricate the O-rings with some silicone grease before you do this. And now just screw the screw in place, being very careful not to over tighten it. It's even a better idea to use thread lock rather than over tighten the screw, as it can break off. These are very fine. So I'm just going to show you how the new pusher comes apart. It's actually quite simple. So what you need to do is grip the pusher sturdily and unscrew the screw. And pull out the screw. Okay, in this case we need to deal with a problem, and the issue is the screw heads are longer than the original, and therefore that makes it impossible to seat the movement back into the case properly. And as you can see, there's probably about 1 millimeter difference here, so we're going to need to shorten the screw head. And shortening the screw head means we also need to cut a new screw slot. And there's a few ways of shortening the screw head. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. But as you can see, there's quite a difference between the two, the new screw and the old screw here. And so we're going to need to deal with that now. One easy way of doing this is to use a pin vise and put the screw into the pin vise, and use a file, for example a diamond file, and just file away at it until you get down to the correct height. So that's one way of doing it. My preferred way is to use a lathe. I like to get a nice finish to the edge, and I just find that I get a better finish when I use a lathe. And so I'm going to show you how I do that. As I say, using a lathe is not necessary, overly necessary, but it's just my preferred way of doing it. I just like the finish I get from it, and so it's just quite a simple job really. Just put it in a correct size collet, use a graver, and just turn it down to the correct height. As you can see, we're pretty close now, and so all we have to do now is cut a new screw head. A new slot for the screw. But I'm just using a burnisher here just to smooth it off first, and give it a slightly higher polish. It'll cause less wear and tear on the operating lever and on the actual movement itself. So now I'm just using a slotting file to cut a new screwdriver slot. So now you can see the size of the two new screws are consistent with the size of the old screw. Yeah, theoretically, when I put this all back together, these should be just the right height to operate the start, stop and reset on the chronograph. And so let's put it all back together and see what happens. Well, it seems we got the height of the screw heads just about perfect. The start and stop is operating just as I would expect, and here we are with the reset, just exactly the way I want it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So as you can see, it's not a difficult job to fit a new chronograph pusher. Yes, I've used some of the specialist tools, but you can get away with using non-specialist, or you can substitute some of the tools that I've used with tools that you may already have, for example pliers, instead of the correct pusher tool. So I hope you liked my video. Please hit the thumbs up if you did like it, and feel free to subscribe, and then you'll be informed whenever I upload new videos regarding watch repairs. Thanks for watching.